I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with the cattle market summary for the week ending April the 9th, brought to you in part by the American Simmental Association. Sim genetics can be the perfect combination for crossbreeding many commercial herds. Go to simmental.org and see what Sim genetics can do for you. Volatility returned to the market this week, not so much in the cash market, but on the futures. And it was tough for the market to figure out what to do, but ended on a strong note there. Live cattle futures on the April contract ended the week on Friday up $1.95 to close the week out at $134.37, which was $1.40 higher for the week. Feeder cattle on April was up $1.75 on Friday to end the week at $155.90, which was down 30 cents. And the feeder cattle market's just not got as much fire under it as fats all of a sudden seem to. But for the most part, the boards were up some Monday, down pretty hard on Tuesday. Wednesday back up strong again. Thursday started the day out down really hard, but then after we saw some packer demand come out and started trading quite a few cattle out of the feedlots on Thursday, then the board ended up closing a lot stronger and then up again on Friday. But a little topsy-turvy there, but some good support from the packers, and they really come out strong and started raising their bids, trying to get more cattle accumulated on a fairly early in the day on Thursday, and that was a big shot of B12 in the arm of this fat cattle market, and it's kind of been lent over into feeder cattle, but feeder cattle just don't have a whole lot of drive, because we know as we go further on down into the summer months that it's not looking good for fats, which is the feeders that we're selling right now, but also it's just getting awfully dry in the Midwest and across major points of the Corn Belt. And be careful if you want to talk about spoiling a cattle market party. If we happen to see some corn get high, get up in there, if it gets over $4, it's really going to spoil a lot of the break-evens on these cattle, and it's going to spoil the market for the rest of the year. And you just want to look, 8-weight feeders, it may be a struggle for them to bring $1.50 on the steers this summer and this fall coming off grass. But box beef was down pretty good again this week. We're really expecting that to pick up. We keep getting closer to Mother's Day. If we could get some of these real retailers to feature beef for a change, instead of chicken breasts or something else, they've just got out of the habit the last couple of years when beef was so high compared to some of these other proteins to not really featuring a whole lot of beef. But if we could just get some beef features in the newspaper pullouts and things like that, maybe we could get this stuff rolling again. But your choice boxes for the weekly average were down $6.25 to end the week at $216.21. Select averages for the week were $206.78, down $6.13, and we've got to think that those have started to bottom out. Your slaughter this past week was 535,000, which was down 7,000 from the previous week, but up 31,000 from the same week a year ago. We've talked through the week about the wheat pasture there. This wheat is just ahead of schedule. We had such an early spring there, especially in the southern plains where that hard red winter wheat is, where the grazing wheat is. And that early spring has matured this wheat a lot faster than normal, and where sometimes you can keep cattle out on graze out wheat until June sometime maybe, or at least middle to late May. It's not looking like it's going to happen this time, even though the wheat was pretty rank and had a lot of growth to it, and was surprisingly looking good compared to how dry the winter was in the southern plains. But they had some ground moisture from some earlier rain and things that they had, but it really just looked good out there. But it's getting tough, and those cattle can't hardly eat it anymore. So guys are starting to try to figure out different ways to take advantage of that feed. A lot of them are starting to swath it down, and they'll make wheat hay out of it. But if they let the beards get out, which it's starting to get into that stage here pretty soon, they let the beards get tough on there, and then nothing's going to eat it. So the wheat deal is just about to play out, even on the graze out wheat, which it seems like we just took the traditional pull-offs off wheat here just a week or two ago, which we did. But graze out cattle will be coming pretty soon, and it could pressure this feeder market again. But you look at some cash feeder cattle prices, overall in the nation, pretty much all classes were steady to $5 lower. They just seem to be under a lot of pressure, as we don't have a whole lot to look forward to, because these out fronts on the feeders and the fats are a whole lot lower than what we're trading with right now, which is not so bad on the fats, because those are your cash market, because they're at the end of the line right there. But those feeder cattle that really need something to look forward to are lacking that right now. You look at some individual quotes on Friday there. The Bluegrass Stockyards in Richmond, Kentucky, they had a load of steers, and pay attention here, Friday morning at 9:50, right before 10 o'clock, had a load of steers weighed 863 at $1.50. That's as good a price as we saw anywhere this week on some 8-weight steers, and these weighing well over 8.5 there, but $1.50. $1.50 is going to be hard to hang on to. It's hard to get right now, and they were able to achieve it in the southeast there. But you look at a calf quote, had a half a load of steers in Lexington, Nebraska, Friday just after lunch there, weighed 622, bring 186.50, and that's a monster price too. But here at DV Auction, we're kind of excited that our Cattle Market Central quotes are going to now be included in your Beef Market Central phone app. And I know a lot of you have the BMC or Beef Market Central phone app. If you don't have it, go to your app store, and it's absolutely free to install on your smartphone. And it's the best way to get the board and a whole lot of your major markets there, market reports, real quick. But as you get into it, there's weather there, a lot of forecasting things on weather. There's news, of course, ag market news and things like that. But a lot of our features from Cattle Market Central, including the real-time markets on the feeder cattle, are going to be included soon on your Beef Market app, and are already featured on beefmarketcentral.com. So if you want to get in there and really get your hands on a lot of information really fast, we've got a feeder cattle market ticker that just sits there and rolls up every time cattle are traded in 117 different sale barns across the country. And it's really more fun than watching Facebook or playing solitaire. So if you're a sale barn junkie like I am, and you're interested in knowing what's going on all over the country, there's nothing more fun than watching that feeder cattle ticker just show you where cattle are going through the ring and what they're bringing, just not only up to the minute, but less than a minute, just up to the instance, and that's why we call it real-time information. But back home here in my DV Auction home office in Maysville, Missouri, we'll talk to you on Wednesday.